Good morning, this is the Paradise Unicorn Priestess bringing you day 80 of A Course in Miracles, the Yin translation, where we use female words. This would be March 21st if you're starting at the new year. The God of sickness. You have not attacked God and you do love her. Can you change your reality? No one can will to destroy herself. When you think you are attacking yourself, it is a sure sign that you hate what you think you are. And this, and only this, can be attacked by you. What you think you are can be made very hateful, and what this strange image makes you do can be very destructive. Yet the destruction is no more real than the image, although those who make idols do worship them. The idols are nothing, but their worshippers are the children of God in sickness. God would have them released from their sickness and returned to her mind. She will not limit your power to help them because she has given it to you. Do not be afraid of it because it is your salvation. What comforter can there be for the sick children of God except her power through you? Remember that it does not matter where in the childship she is accepted. She is always accepted for all, and when your mind receives her, the remembrance of her awakens throughout the childship. Heal your sisters simply by accepting God for them. Your minds are not separate, and God has only one channel for healing because she has but one child. God's remaining communication link with all her children joins them together, and them to her. To be aware of this is to heal them, because it is the awareness that no one is separate, and so no one is sick. To believe that a child of God can be sick is to believe that part of God can suffer. Love cannot suffer because it cannot attack. The remembrance of love, therefore, brings invulnerability with it. Do not side with sickness in the presence of a child of God, even if she believes in it. For your acceptance of God in her acknowledges the love of God she has forgotten. Your recognition of her as part of God reminds her of the truth about herself, which she is denying. Would you strengthen her denial of God and thus lose sight of yourself? Or would you remind her of her wholeness and remember your Creator with her? To believe a child of God is sick is to worship the same idol she does. God created love, not idolatry. All forms of idolatry are caricatures of creation, taught by sick minds too divided to know that creation shares power and never usurps it. Sickness is idolatry because it is the belief that power can be taken from you. Yet this is impossible because you are part of God, who is all power. A sick God must be an idol, made in the image of what its maker thinks she is. And that is exactly what the ego does perceive in a child of God. A sick God, self-created, self-sufficient, very vicious, and very vulnerable. Is this the idol you would worship? Is this the image you would be vigilant to save? Look calmly at the logical conclusion of the ego's thought system and judge whether its offering is really what you want, for this is what it offers you. To obtain this, you are willing to attack the divinity of your sisters, and thus lose sight of yours. And you are willing to keep it hidden, to protect an idol you think will save you from the dangers for which it stands, but which do not exist. There are no idolaters in the realm, but there is great appreciation for everything God created because of the calm knowledge that each one is part of her. God's child knows no idols, but she does know her mother. Health in this world is the counterpart of value in heaven. It is not my merit that I contribute to you, but my love, for you do not value yourself. When you do not value yourself, you become sick, but my value of you can heal you, because the value of God's child is one. when I said, "My peace I give unto you," I meant it. Peace comes from God through me to you. It is for you, although you may not ask for it. When a sister is sick, it is because she is not asking for peace, and therefore does not know she has it. The acceptance of peace is the denial of illusion, and sickness is an illusion. Yet every child of God has the power to deny illusions anywhere in the realm, merely by denying them completely in herself. I can heal you because I know you. I know your value for you, and it is this value that makes you whole. A whole mind is not idolatrous, and does not know of conflicting laws. I will heal you merely because I have only one message, and it is true. Your faith in it will make you whole when you have faith in me. I do not bring God's message with deception, and you will learn this as you learn that you always receive as much as you accept. You could accept peace now for everyone and offer them perfect freedom from all illusions because you heard her voice. But have no other gods before her, or you will not hear. God is not jealous of the gods you make, but you are. You would save them and serve them because you believe that they made you. You think they are your mother because you are projecting onto them the fearful fact that you made them to replace God. Yet when they seem to speak to you, remember that nothing can replace God, and whatever replacements you have attempted are nothing. Very simply then, you may believe you are afraid of nothingness, but you are really afraid of nothing, and in that awareness you are healed. You will hear the God you listen to. You made the God of sickness, and by making her, you made yourself able to hear her. Yet you did not create her because she is not the will of the mother. She is therefore not eternal, and will be unmade for you the instant you signify your willingness to accept only the eternal. If God has but one child, there is but one God. You share reality with her because reality is not divided. To accept other gods before her is to place other images before yourself. You do not realize how much you listen to your gods and how vigilant you are on their behalf. Yet they exist only because you honor them. Place honor where it is due, and peace will be yours. It is your inheritance from your real mother. You cannot make your mother, and the mother you made did not make you. Honor is not due to illusions, for to honor them is to honor nothing. Yet fear is not due them either, for nothing cannot be fearful. You have chosen to fear love because of its perfect harmlessness. And because of this fear, you have been willing to give up your own perfect helpfulness and your own perfect help. Only at the altar of God will you find peace, and this altar is in you because God put it there. Her voice still calls you to return, and she will be heard when you place no other gods before her. You can give up the god of sickness for your sisters. In fact, you would have to do so if you give her up for yourself. For if you see the god of sickness anywhere, you have accepted her. And if you accept her, you will bow down and worship her because she was made as God's replacement. She is the belief that you can choose which God is real. Although it is clear this has nothing to do with reality, it is equally clear that it has everything to do with reality as you perceive it. It is our perception that is needing to be calibrated. As I have come to know A Course in Miracles and receive its messages and understand its messages better, I realize that every God that has ever been taught from a pulpit has been a projection of the ego, because every God that has ever been taught punishes and creates hell for those that don't live up to the expectations of that projected false God. And this is one of the reasons why I find it so powerful and meaningful to flip all of the gendered words in the original channeled work of A Course in Miracles to female, because it sends a really strong message to my psyche. This ain't your grandfather's God here. This is the real God. And as it said in today's reading, The real God is perfect harmlessness. A Course in Miracles assures us again and again, the real God does not punish, ever, anyone. We're the only ones who punish, and we only punish ourselves. And we have the illusion of punishing others. Okay, lesson 80. Let me recognize my problems have been solved. If you are willing to recognize your problems, you will recognize that you have no problems. Your one central problem has been answered, and you have no other. Therefore, you must be at peace. Salvation thus depends on recognizing this one problem and understanding that it has been solved. One problem, one solution. Salvation is accomplished. Freedom from conflict has been given you. Accept that fact, and you are ready to take your rightful place in God's plan for salvation. Your only problem has been solved. Repeat this over and over to yourself today with gratitude and conviction. You have recognized your only problem, opening the way for the Holy Spirit to give you God's answer. You have laid deception aside and seen the light of truth. You have accepted salvation for yourself by bringing the problem to the answer. And you can recognize the answer because the problem has been identified. You are entitled to peace today. A problem that has been resolved cannot trouble you. Only be certain you do not forget that all problems are the same. Their many forms will not deceive you while you remember this. One problem, one solution. Accept the peace this simple statement brings. In our longer practice periods today, we will claim the peace that must be ours when the problem and the answer have been brought together. The problem must be gone because God's answer cannot fail. Having recognized one, you have recognized the other. The solution is inherent in the problem. You are answered and have accepted the answer. You are saved. Now let the peace that your acceptance brings be given you. Close your eyes and receive your reward. Recognize that your problems have been solved. Recognize that you are out of conflict, free and at peace. Above all, remember that you have one problem and that the problem has one solution. It is in this that the simplicity of salvation lies. It is because of this that it is guaranteed to work. Assure yourself often today that your problems have been solved. Repeat the idea with deep conviction as frequently as possible, and be particularly sure to apply the idea for today to any specific problem that may arise. Say quickly, "Let me recognize this problem has been solved." Let us be determined not to collect grievances today. Let us be determined to be free of problems that do not exist. The means is simple honesty. Do not deceive yourself about what the problem is, and you must recognize it has been solved. What this makes me think of is that if everything is a dream, well, is that dream happy or is it unpleasant? Is it a nightmare? What is being healed? If our mind is truly healed such that it would not generate nightmares anymore, then that is much better, yes? And A Course in Miracles assures us that the pathway back to healing our perception of reality is going from less pleasant dreams to more pleasant dreams, so that we are closer to what love actually is. And love is perfect harmlessness. Love is perfectly kind and perfectly kind to all. So happy problem solving. Until next time.